Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a new fall schedule discussion. Yesterday, we dove into everything NBC related. Today, we've got ABC. Even though I don't even know if they're not really calling it even a fall schedule. It's just sort of like, here's the schedule. It's going to be on whenever it's going to be on.
Yeah, and that makes the most sense. There's been other networks that are basically like, this is what we're doing and we're doing it and you're gonna see it. And I think it just gives too much false hope because the reality is we don't know what's going to continue on with the world. We don't know if things are going to get better. We don't know if they're going to get worse. We just don't know. So I like that they've come out and just said, this is what we hope.
Yeah, this is really a what we hope schedule, but we'll go through some of the most notable things about it, including Bachelorette on Tuesdays. What are the plans for that? Dancing with the Stars. How in the world are you going to do that? Also, Grey's Anatomy, its longevity, some discussion about the future of the rookie, and a whole lot more. But before we dive into breaking some of this stuff down, we'll have a link in the description below if you want to check out the schedule in full. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates we've got coming up.
So we're going to start off with The Bachelorette because Claire's season was about to get started when everything's kicked off with everything that's going on in the world right now. So it looks like they're going to be having The Bachelorette on Tuesdays and that it's going to be kind of a all in one place fashion. So it makes me feel like they might be able to kind of really get this done. Usually with the Bachelor franchise, you've got them all over the world and all these exotic locations. And to me, after watching Bachelor Listen to Your Heart, which I never thought I was going to like as much as I did, they didn't really go to a lot of locations, but the cast was so good and it didn't matter. So if we get a really, really good cast for Claire, it's not going to matter if it's all in one place or not.
This is going to be really fascinating how they do this. I feel like The Bachelorette may be one of the first shows that gets back to work, and it sounds like a big part of the reason why is for what you said. It's all one location. It sounds like they may be sort of just putting the cast and the crew there and not letting anybody leave, which certainly is not going to be easy for the crew and people who have families and everything else. But, it'll probably be a fairly limited shoot. I don't know, my guess 4 to 6 weeks, something along those lines. They can get it all done. I don't know if you're Claire, is it going to be more likely that you find love because you're with these people all the time? Or are they all going to drive each other crazy over a month and a half?
I don't know, but I do know that the physical aspect of it, unless everybody is sort of tested or put into quarantine before they go onto the show, and then they're all just there and nobody's leaving, like, it's going to be difficult because normally with this show, there's lots of kissing, there's lots of hugging, there's lots of touching, and this is a time where we're all social distancing. So how does that work?
I'm sure that they're going to test everyone and they'll probably relay it to everyone and they're probably all going to self-isolate before going in there. But here's the thing. We're still in a time that understandably people are going to be really, really paranoid. And if you are on a show like this, I think we'd be kidding ourselves if we were to say, okay, the thought is never going to cross these people's minds of what's actually happening in the real world. That fear, it's something that I can't account for. You can't account for. Nobody can account for it. And because nobody's really gotten back to work yet, I don't think we've had to actually experience it.
So now we're going to talk about Dancing with the Stars, which to me was the most surprising that it's coming back because the way that this show is with dancing and you're sweating all over each other and you're breathing in each other's faces and you're in such close contact, this was a show that I felt was one of the most dangerous shows to come back at this point, unless everybody's just gonna be, okay, we're all just staying in this area, nobody's allowed to come in, go out, and this is the way that it's gonna be. I was really surprised because it feels like the most high risk.
I know that there's an interview out there that Carrie Burke, who's the head of ABC, gave to Deadline where she sort of said that they're taking cues from other versions of the show. I still don't know fully what all of those are. And yeah, to be honest, I'm concerned about this for a lot of different reasons. I think for starters, number one, if you are a celebrity, and I mean, it does sound like Caitlin Bristow's already signed up, but I think by and large still, you would want to know what the plan is for everything. Would you feel like, okay, I want to be on it, but I don't know if I want to be on it so soon? I think it's going to be harder to get people to commit unless you show them a full plan. When it comes to rehearsals, routines, it's probably going to be a lot harder to sort of isolate people because The Bachelor, they can film it all at once. Dancing with the Stars, it's a live show. It goes on for a couple of months at least. I don't think people are going to be game to be locked away for that long.
Yeah, and then what happens with the audience? There's going to be dancing for nobody?
Tom?
Yeah, but like how is this really going to work? Because part of this is having the audience there and feeding off the energy of the audience, and that doesn't feel like it's going to be really safe either. So, Dancing with the Stars, very surprising. I will still be, I'll believe it when I see it is kind of where I am if we're going to see it before next year.
I think if we see it this season, or I guess this fall, it probably wouldn't be until October at the earliest. They don't have the same amount of lead up time, I guess, as some other shows, scripted stuff. So maybe they think that, okay, come September, maybe it will be okay. Maybe there'll be more regulations in place. I don't think there's going to be an audience. I think we're just going to have to sort of just deal with that and see how it ends up impacting the show.
Yep.
I thought about, okay, are you going to have them dancing with masks? But I think really, I don't think they would want that because I think it's going to be a reminder to everyone as to what's going on, and that makes people sad, understandably, but you also want them to be safe. This is going to be a very confusing situation. I think we need a lot more information. We are not Fauci. We do not have the answers with this.
Yeah, I will believe it when I see it.
Okay,
if it's coming back this fall.
The other things that are kind of notable, and these aren't so much, I think, logistical issues in the same way, because I think we all knew Grey's Anatomy was probably going to be on the schedule as soon as they could sort of make it happen. Shows like that, Station 19, The Good Doctor, like they're all sort of there. But for Grey's, I think really the questions that I have are kind of twofold. Number one, how do you address what's going on in the world? But number two, how do you really look towards the long-term future? Because Grey's is sort of a show where you want to have a plan as to when it's ending, because it's been on for longer than some of its viewers have probably been alive at this point. Yep. So I think you want to know long in advance if it's your final season so you can plan for it. But right now, I'm pretty sure if you're the producers, you're probably just more concerned with, okay, how do I get people back to work? How do I make sure everyone is sanitized? You can't lock these people away for 8 months without being around their family. So I think you're more focused on that. ABC's hopeful there could be another season beyond season 17, but who really knows? It's a big question that's hanging over it, at least for me right now.
Yeah, and it's a pretty big cast. And then on top of it, you have all these crossovers with Station 19, which I'm going to assume or hope are going to start getting less and less, because it is not really that safe to be moving everybody around at this point. But I'm very curious to see how they're going to be able to do it. I mean, a lot of it is taking place in the same location. Yeah, sometimes they're going to people's homes or apartments or whatever. But they can write stories that keep everybody in the same location, which could keep a lot of the sort of safeness of it as much as you can in one location.
I think we're definitely going to see a lot more of that with scripted shows, just sort of in general. I've read a lot about how not going to be as many extras for a lot of different series. You're probably going to have fewer recurring cast members. Even though Grey's and Station 19 are in the same studio, they're not in the same room all of the time. And I think you're probably thinking, okay, how do we just kind of minimize cross contact as much as humanly possible? I'm sure some Grays fans wouldn't be that upset that there could be fewer Station 19 crossovers.
Yeah, I'm one of those people, and it's not because I don't like Station 19, because I do like Station 19. I just don't get to watch it all the time. So when things are revealed on Station 19 and then I'm just going into Grays, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. It's really frustrating as just a Grays watcher.
So the other thing really kind of note to me is The Rookie is on the fall schedule, much like we discussed this with Chicago PD earlier this week. I wasn't sure what the networks were going to do with some of these police shows, especially, The Rookie, a show where you have a lot of uniformed officer characters who are out sort of on the streets. They use body cam footage a lot as sort of a device on the show to provide perspective. And Carrie Brooke has noted that the writers are actively working to sort of reflect things like police brutality and police reform that are going on in the real world. I hope they address it and take it seriously. And, I don't want to say something that I don't want to use the same, I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to this, because it's a serious issue, but it's also, I need to hear more than words. I think that's the best way to sort of say it. Like, I want to be optimistic that they're taking this seriously, but until it actually comes on the show, it's hard for me to say for sure, okay, they're doing the right thing, they're handling this correctly, because I expect them to say things like this right now.
And there are so many police shows that are on the air right now, and it's interesting of how few of them have come forward to say that they are writing with this in mind of what is going on in the real world, and that they feel a responsibility to incorporate that into the show. It is few and far between.
Yeah, we've heard SWAT. We've heard, and SWAT had a very personal account in a lot of ways, because the showrunners themselves actively spoke out about it. This was more from ABC, but at least it's still something. I'm kind of disappointed in Chicago PD that they haven't discussed things a little bit more publicly than what they have right now, because I think you want viewers to sort of understand that you're listening and you're paying attention and you're going to sort of reflect these things, because I know TV is escapism for a lot of people, but I think at the same time there are certain things you cannot escape from. And when you are doing a show like this that is about policing, you can't just pretend these things aren't happening. It's an injustice to what are real, legitimate injustices in the real world. But this is, at least for now, some of what ABC is planning. We'll see where things go. We're all still kind of in the dark here.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, all right. Well, what do you guys think about the ABC fall schedule and the future of Grays, The Rookie, Dancing with the Stars? Let us know in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the store. And we'll see you here next time.